Hello and welcome to Sport Africa, our weekly program fully devoted to African sport. I am Celestine Karoney, and in this week's program, Algerian football has major questions to answer as the BBC unveils a huge match-fixing scandal. From the townships to a world title, meet the South African skateboarder inspiring a generation.
The possibility of representing South Africa at the 2020 Olympic Games is more than a dream come true.
Beauty tips and sporting moments. Get to know more about Nigerian basketball star Celestine Karoney.
Honestly, I just use soap and water. Next thing you know, I'm just beautiful.
Find out why this cycling team is seeking the magic of Kenya's famous running town. And two contestants, one throne. Who will be crowned this week's armchair expert? Thank you for joining us on BBC Sport Africa. This week, we start with the ugly side of the beautiful game. Now, a few months ago, we heard how match fixing was a big problem in Ghana. Today, the BBC can reveal that Algeria is suffering from a similar issue. An investigation carried out across 3 seasons by BBC Arabic and with the help of whistleblowers has revealed day-to-day workings of how the second half of each season is fixed.
Each week it is the same. We go, he tries so hard, but ultimately he cannot get ahead. It feels like the team should be winning. But the referee seems to always be against us. Well, him. I just wanted to be fair.
All the action happens from February, when the points are lined up and the battle is on to avoid relegation before the end of the season. It is corruption season. That is when I work. Politicians want to protect their populations from disappointment, keep them happy at a local level. Superfans want their team to win, and they both have the money to make it happen. At every level, there are powerful people trying to manipulate the results of every team. I am an intermediary, and I have the contacts with certain teams and referees that they may need to make it work. You cannot always make a team win, but you can make one of them lose. The calls start coming in from other teams who want to speak with the club presidents and referees I am connected with. Other intermediaries work with players directly. I don't like to do that. I have seen too many lose their careers.
I was approached by an intermediary on behalf of the president of the team we were due to play against next. I immediately went and told my president, and he asked me to record the whole thing as evidence. As a goalie, I could have a big influence on the outcome of the game. I thought what I was doing would make a difference, help our club president, and change the game for the fans. I was wrong. My president was silenced. He did not back me up, and the fans resented me for exposing the corruption. I only ever wanted to play football, but that was taken from me. I never played again.
Someone wants me to negotiate for a team who has a good number of points to lose, so that their team can avoid entering the relegation zone. We always meet in out-of-the-way places. We are well-known people, so we meet in small cafes on the outskirts of town.
Now the deal is on, I make my calls to my contacts, the referees and the chairman. There is a sort of price list. Us intermediaries deal with the first and second division. The price is as high as 8 million dinars or 68,000 US dollars. That is for a win. Just a penalty kick in the first division will cost 2 million dinars, that's $17,000, and it may not even work. It gets more affordable in the second division, and it doesn't stop there. It reaches down into the youth divisions.
I tried to avoid it for years, but my career was going nowhere. Right now, it seems to me like being open to corruption is just an expected extension of my role as a referee. I do not get the same opportunities if I am not willing to play along with it, and frankly, I am struggling to support my family on the wages alone.
Welcome back. The news at the top of the hour. It's Thursday, and that means that teams across the country are travelling to their games with just 8 games left to go this season. Some of them are playing for their lives. Let's go south now, down to...
Now, I am heading back to my points buyer to pick up the cash. I hold on to it until they see it has been successful tomorrow at the game. If it fails, then the money will be returned to the buyer.
Dad, can I buy a shirt?
With the trip here, tickets, and being a part of the TIFO, I have put half of this month's wages into watching this game.
The fans think it's real, but the chairman know better. They are the ones involved in this particular bribery.
My team has done well. I can afford to lose a few points and still be in a respectable position at the end of the season.
I cannot afford to lose. I want to run for a position in the parliament once this season is over. This is just part of my campaign. Sometimes you have to pay a bit extra to get what you want.
Time now for Armchair Expert, the quiz where we put your sports knowledge to the test. Let's find out who will be battling for the throne this week. Over to Janine Anthony in Lagos.
Welcome back to Armchair Expert. It's an amazing set of contestants we have for you in this show, and here they are.
Hello guys, this is Nero, your human sport encyclopedia.
Hi guys, I'm Olajire and I'm the undisputed champion and I'm here to show you just that. Let's go there.
Brilliant, you guys, real brilliant. But we have round one to navigate first. It's around this week's team, and that's Africans in the Premier League. I can shout some amen. But first, here are the rules.
Round one. It's simple. 30 seconds each to answer as many questions as possible on what's going on in the sporting week.
Your time starts now. Who is the Premier League's highest scoring African player?
Pass.
Didier Drogba with 104 goals. Who was the first African to win the Premier League?
Drogba.
Christopher Ray, that was in 1997-98 season. Which African nation has had the most Premier League players?
Ivory Coast.
It's Nigeria. Which of these African nations is yet to have a player in the Premier League? Is it Chad or Sierra Leone?
It has to be Chad.
It is correct. Chad is absolutely correct. Which Cameroonian legend had back-to-back stints at 2 Premier League clubs?
Eto'o.
Correct, Samuel Eto'o, and that's where your time ends. Good fight back. 2 points for Nero Olajire. Your time starts now. Which Premier League giant did Tony Yeboah score a famous long-distance strike against in 95-96 season?
Arsenal.
Liverpool. Which Nigerian has made the most appearances in the Premier League?
Mikel.
Joseph Yobo. Which African player has received the most red cards in the Premier League? Is it Yusuf Mulumbu or Hadji Diouf?
Hadji Diouf.
It's actually Yusuf Mulumbu, famous for scoring a Premier League hat-trick against Chelsea in 15 minutes. Who is he?
Yakubu Aigbeni.
Kanu Wankwo. Steven Pienaar was a household name with Everton, but what other Premier League club did he play for?
Stoke City.
Spurs or Sunderland, and that's where it ends with you. You didn't pick up any point. Let's see the scoreboard. In that regard, Nero leads by 2 points, and Olajire, who is understandably angry, didn't pick up any point, but there's still so much to fight for. And extend your lead in round 2 after the break.
Well, tough round for Olajire, but can he fight back? We'll find out later in the show. Now, everybody needs a role model to inspire them. And in South Africa, Jean-Marc Johannes is certainly one of those. Despite growing up in a troubled neighborhood, Johannes is the first South African to ever medal at an international skateboarding competition. He set his eyes on competing at the 2020 Olympics, and this would further inspire kids from nearby townships about what is possible.
How you guys doing? I'm Carl from Anfab. I'm here with Jean-Marc. He's going to attempt to see how many nollie hills he can do for the Guinness World Record.
1 minute. Got it. Let's do this. Setting world records here, boys.
Athlone is a place in Cape Town and South Africa that's very crime-driven. There's a lot of gang-related issues. It's considered not to be, a place for skateboarders to come out of and actually make it to a global platform. Knowing that everybody thought that no skateboarder could come from Athlone and make it to a global platform or win an international contest or break a world record, I think that made me push even harder. Everybody told me it was impossible, and it won't happen because of the area that I grew up. When I started skateboarding, I wanted to learn every new trick that came out. When I saw it on a video, I would go outside, I'm learning this trick. Next day, learning that trick. I never thought skateboarding would be an Olympic sport, and when the announcement was made, I knew that that was something that was going to change skateboarding globally. The possibility of representing South Africa at the 2020 Olympic Games is more than a dream come true for me. It was almost a dream I thought I shouldn't dream of. Looking at athletes like Caster Semenya, Wade van Niekerk, and a lot of athletes from South Africa that I look up to personally, being on the same level of those athletes would be something that really humbles me and makes me realize that you can achieve anything again, from regardless of where you started. These two was from FICE World Series. This was the first SA Gold in the FICE AM Series 2016. This was the silver in 2017. And then 2018 was this one. I always made sure that in my career that I would be a positive role model to the youth and to skateboarders in Athlone and all around the world. That's something that I want to kind of, portray to other skateboarders to have that mindset, to believe in themselves. And obviously with my goal in mind to represent South Africa at the 2020 Olympics, that's something I aim to achieve and also make other skateboarders and athletes believe in themselves to do the same in the future.
That's it for part one, but stay around because when we return, we'll tell you what a cycling team and Kenyan athletes have in common. Welcome back to BBC Sports Africa. In 2016, she scored a three-pointer at the buzzer to give Nigeria their only win of the Olympic qualifiers. Later this month, Ezine Kalu will be putting these skills on show at the FIBA Women's World Cup. But the Nigerian point guard is not just about making baskets. In this week's Who Am I?, she lets us in on beauty secrets, nicknames, and her sporting moments.
Z baby, Ine, but they mostly call me Z. More like a burgundy color to match my complexion, but it always makes my lips just pop and I just go out and go, yes, that's me, I'm here. Honestly, I just use soap and water. Next thing you know, I'm just beautiful. My stage name would probably be Ziggy. Ziggy on the mic. I've never been to a concert, ever. I would love to go. You have tickets? Boys don't get that. Whatever we want, is that's what we want. Just, if you make us happy, you'll be happy. You never heard of the saying, happy wife, happy life? Beard for sure. When I see no beard, I think of boys. I don't want to date a boy. My personal best movement was hitting a game-winning shot against North Korea. Well, it didn't look like that, but that was the biggest shot of my life. That was the best shot ever. When Kobe retired and scored 61 points. My favorite animal is a chameleon. I actually consider myself a chameleon because I can adapt to any environment, no matter where I am, no matter what country I'm going to. Can I say one of a kind? There's no other one like me. I'm the only SNA. Any other SNA be counterfeit.
No one like Z indeed. Happy wife, happy life. I wonder how many of you agree with that. Well, let's cross to Lagos now. It's time for round 2 in the Armchair Express.
And we're back for round 2. We left it off with Nero, 2 points. And of course, Olajire yet to pick a point, but it's crunch time now. It's round 2, and here are the rules.
Round 2, convince me. You each have 15 seconds to argue for or against. 2 points are up for grabs.
And the topic is North Africa is set to replace West Africa as the continent's dominant force in the Premier League. You are going for North and you're going for West. Are you ready?
Yeah. That's not even a debate. You can just go 3 years ago. We saw Riyad Mahrez, the first African player to win EPL Player of the Year, and now Mohamed Salah, the highest goal scorer in a single season. What more do you want? North Africa, straight up.
Under 15 seconds, that just went like that. Olajire.
I don't see that happening because the top goal scorer in the EPL is Didier Drogba, the top assist in the EPL is Didier Drogba, and the most expensive African player is Naby Keita. So I don't see that happening.
Wow, combined 5 seconds for both of you, no? That's a good argument. And we can't go on a short break. For me to choose, I will slightly lean towards Olajire because he's shown that Africans have been there. And of course, in that regard of records, a West African beats that. That's a good one. Let's see the result now. It's a tie. It's a tie, guys. A big one, 2-2. Round 3 promises to be fun, but you have to stick around.
We all like to win. Well, at least I do. And many of us seek out the tried and tested methods of getting that success. So when Iten, a small town in Kenya, became famous for producing endurance athletes, a cycling team went and pitched camp there seeking that magic. This week, the Kenya Riders team took Iten and one of cycling's biggest lessons, selflessness.
I got into cycling just by a chance. I was doing my work in Eldoret. I used to be a milk vendor there. I started it as a fun, but now it's my way out of poverty. And I want to push as much as I can to run away from poverty.
When I was 15, my mom had no more money to support me in school, so I decided to continue with cycling. I kept a lot of dreams on my heart and thinking that they will come true.
So the Kenyan Riders team is a mixture of cyclists from different parts of Kenya and also Uganda. We started around about 10 years ago, trying to take the endurance talent, which is obvious through the distance running, and transfer those results onto the bicycle.
cycling is something different in E10. So I chose it to do because I do want to run.
Part of the idea of even living in E10 was that the excellence that you see here in E10, like this is the fastest town in the world for distance running. So hopefully the excellence of the runners rubs off on the cyclists.
E10 is a very tiny place. It's not so big, but I think its name has gone so far. And I think it's a symbol of sport. First of all, the altitude here helps the sportsmen who live here. And first when we came here, it was not like there was not that culture of cycling here. So people are like, wow, what's this?
Just like the runners here, when they go overseas, yeah, they're expected to win. When race organisers invite Kenyans, they expect those guys to win. The person that wins the race is an individual, but to win that race, you must have a strong team behind you to help to win the race.
The biggest thing I've learned is communication. Like once you communicate, things will be solved.
We have a good atmosphere here in the camp, so they are like brothers. But even if they do fall out, if they can focus on the work, they can still get the job done. But thankfully, we haven't had any major issues really.
Everybody here is almost like a brother. My cycling dream is to ride in big races, world tour races, and riding on a world tour team.
The best result we got as Kenyan riders would have been a few years ago when John Njoroge Muya finished third in the Tour of Rwanda.
My dream is based on steps. Best dream ever for every cyclist in the world is to join the Tour de France.
We will keep watching and see if they will achieve a global status like the athletes. Now, it was all square after 2 rounds in the Armchair Expert, but someone has to claim the throne. Who will it be? Let's find out in the final round.
It's the home stretch of Armchair Expert round 3. These guys 2-2 from the last 2 rounds. It's round 3. Here are the rules.
Round 3, the quickfire decider. 45 seconds to push up your score. Remember, shout your name before you answer or you lose out.
45 seconds. Your time starts now. Where was Saido Berigno born?
Nero, Congo.
Senegal.
Oh, it's actually Burundi. Albatross is a bird, but also a terminology used in what sport?
Nero, badminton.
Tennis.
It's actually golf. What did Serena Williams say she missed out on as she practiced during this year's Wimbledon?
Nero, winning.
Her daughter's first test. In which city is the Australian Grand Prix currently held?
Nero, Australia.
In which city in Australia?
Melbourne.
Correct. Which country hosted this year's Winter Olympics?
Nero, Sochi.
Russia.
China.
South Korea. Which of these sports is currently in the Commonwealth Games but not in the Olympic Games? Is it squash or triathlon?
Nero, squash.
It's correct. Which Premier League club has won the most FA Cup trophy?
Arsenal.
Nero, Arsenal.
David.
You said it first and I'll give you. That's a good round. You picked up 2 points and you picked up 1 point. 4 points, 3 points. Nero is our champion for this. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Come and take you're so humble. A good word, Olajire, but of course, this is our undisputed champion.
Yeah, welcome to my lifestyle, winning.
Interesting guy. He did call himself the sport encyclopedia and came out on top. Congratulations, Nero. Remember, you can get in touch about anything you have seen on the show via Facebook or Twitter, as well as our BBC Sport Africa website. I am Celestine Karoney. Until next time, goodbye.